give an opportunity for all the independent, non-commercial radio stations, not all of them, a large portion of them in the city to have an opportunity to be part of Music Month, because they're such an important part of the ecosystem in terms of being a pipeline for new and emerging artists and really just giving an independent voice in the city, which is of course what New York is all about. So if you wanna also, the hashtag for Music Month is hashtag NY Music Month. It'd be great if you guys are gonna take photos. And even though we're in the last week, we still have a ton of free events. You can check it out at nymusicmonth.nyc. And I'm gonna turn it over and not take up any more of your time, but it's great to see you all, and hopefully I'll see you in the rest of the week. Okay, thanks, Alison.
All right, we'll be ready to go in 5 minutes. See you in a minute. on WNYC. I'm Alison Stewart. We are live in the Greene Space in Soho with a special episode of All of It. For the next hour, we'll be joined by the Tony Award-winning band from Buena Vista Social Club. Let's give them a warm welcome. Woo! Inspired by the legendary album, it's now a spectacular musical about Cuba and love and revolution. It earned 5 Tony Awards, including a special Tony Award for the musicians who make up the band, who are right behind me right now. If you're not here with us in the Greene Space, sorry, but you can watch us live at WNYC.org. It's a live stream of the broadcast. The band includes the show's music director, Marco Paglia, who will also win the Tony for Best Orchestrations. Yay! We'll talk to him in just a moment. And later, we'll speak with the show's Tony-winning choreographers, Justin Peck and Patricia Delgado. Woo! And throughout the hour, we'll be joined by a bunch of the cast members, Mel Seme, Wesley Ray, Devon Moody, Issa Antonetti, did I say that right? Yes, and Sophia Ramos. But first, this event is part of New York Music Month, so let's hear some music. Here is the band from Broadway's Buena Vista Social Club, live in the Greene Space.
Se ha formado la corredera, en el barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, sus sirenas. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Se ha formado la corredera, en el barrio La Cachimba se ha formado la corredera. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, sus sirenas. Allá fueron los bomberos con sus campanas, sus sirenas. Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? Ay, mamá, ¿qué pasó? El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela. El cuarto de Tula le cogió candela, se quedó dormida y no apagó la vela.
Renecito Avich.
was the band from Broadway's Buena Vista Social Club. We are live in the Greene Space. Marco Paglia.
Hi, yes, hi.
Hiya. Is it working?
Hello, hello.
Oh, well, we'll get it working. I wanted
Check,
to
check.
ask you, first of all, come on down.
I'll come over.
It's live radio. What did I tell you? I wanted to ask you before we started out, could you please shout out the members of the band?
Yes, of course. To my left, here is David Oquendo on the guitar and the vocals. Renecito Avich on the tres and vocals. On bass with us today is Pedro. And on congas and vocals, Javier Diaz. And on percussion, bongo and campana, Roman Diaz.
Do you remember the first time you heard of the Buena Vista Social Club?
I do. So I heard the album when it came out in the 90s, and I was in college, so I guess that you can guess my age. And and it was a real formative time for me as a musician, listening to lots of different music. And really, I was sort of exploring a lot of Latin jazz kind of combinations, and the album was super incredible to listen to in the 90s. And so when I started working on this about 3 years ago, I was revisiting the album and kind of digging deeper. And being with this band has been an incredible education and a gift to me as a musician. So, yeah, it's been an amazing journey with the show.
You've had to put together the traditions of Buena Vista Social Club with a Broadway show. You had to meld the two traditions. How did you go about that?
So yeah, I've spent this is my 25th year in New York, and I've spent primarily doing a lot of theater, although I have a background really as a musician first. So yeah, I feel like that was sort of my task with the creative team, with Patricia and Justin and Sahim, Ali and Marco Ramirez, the book writer, was sort of to bring the theater to the Cuban musicians and the Cuban musicians to the theater, and sort of bridging that gap and finding a way to use this amazing legacy of songwriting and music making and bringing it to a story and having emotional stakes within the show. So it's not just a concert; it's a theater piece.
David, let's bring you into the conversation. Is it true that you knew original members of the Buena Vista Social Club?
First of all, good morning.
Good morning.
In the afternoon. All right. For me, it's a great pleasure to be here, and I have the big responsibility to carry to my shoulder the legacy that I received from my ancestors and from the originals too, because I had the pleasure to perform with Compay Segundo for many years when I was 21. And I'm like a link between both generations. Around that great talent, all of them, young people with a lot of experience too. And the privilege to work with Maestro Marco to try to preserve the authenticity of this music in the Broadway language. Yes. That was a big challenge. I think we got it.
You think so?
Yeah, Renecito, let's bring you into the conversation. Could you please explain the beautiful instrument that you're playing?
Of course. This is a national guitar from Cuba. The name is the Cuban Tres. It has 3 perfect strings, 3 double strings. And if you are a guitar player or know music, it's tuning C major chord open. It's G, C, E. And with these 3 notes, big part of the Cuban music and the Caribbean music was born. Actually, an important pattern called tumbao, like. So it's also a way to carry your culture with you. So that's what we do every night at the show.
Well, we see you in the show, and you come down stage, and you give a wild performance on your knees, on your back. First of all, is that improvised or is that planned?
I have to say, yes, it is improvised, but also But also, I think this show has opened to me a door that never existed before. I never had the space to do this that you see on stage. So I have an entire theater for me at that time to just communicate each other, just to share energy, and that's what we do.
You feel the energy of the audience.
Oh yeah, every night.
Is it different every night?
It is.
Is it different for you?
But I have to say, was so grateful, and I'm speaking on behalf of everyone about the love. But the love is constant. It's every night there is love, a lot of love for us, and we take that and then we give it back to you.
Marco, Master, can you come back up? Come on back up. It was interesting. So he's Resenecito started to play, and David got in there, and it was like in the show, the gentlemen come together, and it's like they haven't seen each other in a while, but then they immediately gravitate toward one another, and they start to play together. Were rehearsals like that?
Well, we were just talking about this. Our first time getting together, we did a production down at the Atlantic Theater last year, and before that, we had a workshop in the summer. And the first time the band got together, mostly we were strangers. I think there was a few of us that knew each other from the past, but it like there was a spark right away. You could feel it. We some of us took videos of that moment. I think just being a musician and the sharing of the culture and the of seeing what each other has to offer is evident in the way we play. And yeah, right from the beginning, it was magic.
We're going to hear another song. We're going to bring up two cast members, Mel and Wesley. You're going to perform for us. All right, let's get out of the way. This is the Buena Vista Social Club.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Mel Seme and Wesley Ray. They play Ibrahim, young and not so young. We are with the Broadway cast of Buena Vista Social Club. We have more music to come your way. Stay with us. This is all of it.
I'm Stephen Nesson, a transit reporter here at Gothamist and WNYC. It seems like every week there is breaking news about transit in the city that affects how we all get around, on subways, roads, and so much more. Keep up with the latest by listening to On the Way, Thursdays on All Things Considered, and sign up for our weekly newsletter at wnyc.org/newsletters.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Support for WNYC comes from the Vermont Cheese Council, presenting Vermont Cheese Week, a statewide event that celebrates Vermont cheesemakers, farmers, and the land and animals that make cheese possible. Events include farm and creamery tours, tastings, and educational opportunities to meet artisans on site. September 6th through 13th, information on lodging and statewide events is available at vtcheese.com/cheeseweek.
This is WNYC 93.9 FM and AM 820, NPR News and the New York Conversation.
This is All of It on WNYC. I'm Alison Stewart. We are live in the Greene Space at WNYC with the team from Broadway's Buena Vista Social Club. It's a special live broadcast. If you're listening on the radio, you can go to WNYC.org to watch a live stream. Now, if you go see Buena Vista Social Club on stage, guaranteed you will be dancing in your seat. But nothing compares to the choreography. Joining us on stage is a Tony Award-winning choreography created by Justin Peck and Patricia Delgado, who join me now. It is really good to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
I have to tell you, when I went to see it, there was a gentleman in front of me who was dancing in his chair the whole time, to the left, to the right, and then the whole row started dancing. When did you first hear of Buena Vista Social Club, Patricia?
I think I knew this music before I knew it was the Buena Vista Social Club.
Yeah.
I'm born in Miami, but Cuban American. My parents were both born in Cuba, so this music has just been in my blood from in the womb. Yeah.
For me, I heard it as a kid when the album first came out. My family was super into it, and I always remember it as being this like timeless album. But when you look back at the history, it's like, oh, that album just came out, and of course, it's this collection of these historic songs, but done in this kind of lightning in a bottle way. It's just an album that always stuck with me for decades up until this point.
During your Tony speech, you said that you had Buena Vista Social Club as your first dance at your wedding.
We did, yeah.
What song, first of all?
It was Pueblo Nuevo, and we even choreographed a little thing to incorporate Patricia's family into. So that was our first workshop for this musical, I guess.
I was going to say, well, I guess you choreographed together then, but have you done it professionally ever, or was this the first time?
This was our first time with this dynamic. Of course, we've worked in many different projects together. Patricia's danced in my work. She's assisted me. She's been an associate. But this is the first time where we felt like the best approach was to tackle this as partners on it.
So were you like sitting at dinner and saying, wait, I have an idea. Get up and dance with me?
Yes.
Really?
Many times it would just be like listening to it in the background, and even just in the morning sipping our coffee. Just our daughter's there with watching us, and we'll just like get an idea and just pick it up. And so much of the show is based on dancing with two people together. Mm-hmm. So it actually felt like such an organic and natural process for both of us, whether we were in our living room or in the studio, to just listen to this music. Like, what a gift to be able to create choreography to this music. Like you said, even if you're sitting in your seat, you're dancing. So to be able to like create the vocabulary and the nuance, and just then, once it's made, get to pass it on to our incredible cast has been just a really true gift of a process.
Justin, what is the role of dance in Buena Vista Social Club, the musical?
Well, dance taps into the subconscious, and it's something that expresses a kind of emotion or feeling when words or singing can't. And I think with Buena Vista Social Club, there's so many complex ideas and feelings that run through this, and emotions run high. And I think when we need some sort of release or relief, that's when dance comes into play. And the other thing I'll just say is that something I'm really proud of with this musical is that all of the songs are sung in Spanish. And so dance became a way to help to tell the story. Dance is, of course, a universal language. It's something that we can all connect with, and when you're in a theater experiencing it in real time and feeling the energy of movement, it can do so much and it can say so much.
It takes place in the 1950s. What kind of research did you do about dancing in the 50s?
Yeah, it's sort of like the challenge, but also the freedom that we got when we started researching it. There's no photos or video documentation of the actual Buena Vista Social Club in the 50s in Cuba. So a lot of it came from research from our trips down to Cuba and just observing that everyone in Cuba moves, whether it's like a stylized and codified like type of dance, whether it be like Afro-Cuban, Afro-Caribbean, or ballet, or even just like social dance, salsa, mambo. So to try and get the blend of all of those styles and create a new language that would be unique to this show, I think that was our dream.
Yes.
And I think we're very proud of it, yeah.
Justin, by anybody who can't see you right now, you have perfect posture. You clearly was a ballet dancer.
Tried.
And it's interesting, in the choreography, you can see how ballet has seeped into the choreography for Buena Vista Social Club. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Well, I think I can elaborate a little bit on what Patricia was saying, in that like there was this huge pool of dance influence to pull from for the show because of all the dance that exists in Cuba, and we wanted to not pigeonhole it into one singular style, but we wanted to pay tribute to the full range, the full spectrum of dance as it exists in Cuba, and that means everything from Afro-Cuban to ballet and everything in between. And I think like we thought a lot about how to build the vernacular of the show that could pay tribute to all those different styles on the spectrum. And it's also about evoking a kind of feeling, you know, it's like the feeling of walking into the club for the first time as someone who's never been there. You know, Issa's character, when she enters the club as young Omara, like, what does that feel like? And how can we create choreography and dance to evoke the feeling of that? So there's another layer of it because it is a musical in how we're communicating with the audience.
Patricia, how did you work with the costume designers for your dance? Because the costumes move beautifully with your movements.
Yes, early on we actually asked our ladies to wear skirts because of the way the lift would kind of move the skirt. But I think Dede Aite, did I say that right? Dede Aite is an incredible collaborator, and she has a dream and a vision and an idea of what she wants, and then she watched a lot of the choreography and she knew, like, how do we not just create a skirt but have layers within the skirt so that it would actually billow and flow. And then once the dancers put the costume on, the challenge was there was weight to the costume. So we actually spent time in the theater during tech working with the quality of the movement, whether it be like putting more effort in the turn than you ever had to do in the rehearsal studio, because in order to create that flow of the skirt, you had to give it more oomph, right, more strength. And so I think it was a true collaboration of finding the dream and the idea to have it look a certain way, and then work on the dance to match it, to create that illusion.
We're going to hear the song Chan Chan, probably the most famous from the album. And you said that Chan Chan was a song that all departments had to work together. So that included costuming. Who else? What'd you say?
Well, we used to call it the homeroom, because oftentimes our director Sahim Ali and Marco Paglia and Justin and myself, as well as our amazing book writer, Marco Ramirez, we'd kind of come together, whether it was after a day of rehearsal or on a Zoom during the day off, and just brainstorm how to fully take this song, which is actually very repetitive and meditative, and at the same time holds this pressure, this weight of like the song that so many people know. And what do we do with it? How do we make it something that tells a story without having dialogue, tells a story that has like a beginning, middle, and end, we like to say it's the dream ballet of our musical, because so much is said with just expressions of movement. But we did 20 versions of it.
20 versions of it?
We had so many versions of it even before we got into tech. And then once we started previews, we were constantly changing it because we wanted to get it right. And sometimes also the response from the audience during a preview period can share so much. And it wasn't until the very moment we froze the show that we had our final version. And kudos to our cast that kept going with our changes over and over again. They believed in us, they stayed, but I think it's also a testament to the collaborative spirit of making a musical. It's sort of my favorite thing from the whole process, because no matter what Justin and I create, no matter what the music is telling us, no matter what the book says, no matter what the director's vision is, it's really the conversations amongst all of us and the tension that lies between the ideas that all of us want to create that really gets it to the point that, is the final moment.
And before I let you go, Justin, is your daughter, does she move? Does she have moves?
Oh, yeah. Well, we would be dancing a lot together in the living room, and she would have a lot of opinions. I'll just say that, yeah.
Justin and Patricia Delgado and Justin Peck, they are the choreographers from Buena Vista Social Club. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much.
Let's hear the band. They're playing Chan Chan.
Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Cueto voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Cueto voy para Mayarí. De Alto Cedro voy para Marcané, llego a Cueto voy para Mayarí. El cariño que te tengo no te lo puedo negar. Se me sale la babita y no lo puedo evitar. Cuando Juanica y Chan Chan en el mar cernían la arena, como sacudí el jibe, a Chan Chan le daba pena. ¡Qué pena, compadre! Limpia el camino de pajas que yo me quiero sentar en aquel tronco que veo y así no puedo llegar. Marcané, llego a Cueto, voy para Mayarí.
That was the band from the Buena Vista Social Club. We'll be right back with more music live from the Greene Space.
I'm LaFontaine Oliver, President and CEO of New York Public Radio. The threat to public media is real and it's happening now. The House of Representatives has approved a proposal that claws back more than $1 billion that was already approved for public broadcasting. Now that proposal goes to the Senate. This is a direct attempt to silence independent journalism and strip our communities of trusted local news. We need your voice now. Visit WNYC.org/stand.
WNYC support comes from Caramore in Katona, New York, presenting Seth Rudetsky's Broadway Pride featuring Lauren Patton, Zachary Noah Pizer, and Gay Willis this Thursday. Shuttle service from the Katona Metro North Station is available. Tickets at caramore.org.
City Harvest, who are on the road every day rescuing 77 million pounds of nutritious food a year for New Yorkers in need, transforming surplus food into sustenance and sustainability. That's how they feed good. More at cityharvest.org. WNYC's journalism and storytelling is heard by millions of passionate listeners. Sponsors of WNYC gain our listeners' attention and their respect. Learn more about how your organization can support WNYC at sponsorship.wnyc.org.
This is all of it. I'm Alison Stewart. We are live in the Greene Space at WNYC with the band, the 5 Tony Award-winning band of the Buena Vista Social Club. And now to perform for you, we have Mel and Sophia. You're singing, what are you singing today?
Silencio.
Silencio, let's listen.
En mi jardín, las blancas azucenas, los nardos y la rosa. Mi alma muy triste y pesarosa, a las flores quiero ocultar su amargo dolor.
Yo no quiero que las flores sepan los tormentos que me da la vida. Si supiera lo que estoy sufriendo por mis penas, lloraría también. Que están durmiendo los nardos y las azucenas. No quiero que sepan mis penas, si me ven llorando, morirán.
Silencio, que están durmiendo,
que están durmiendo
los
nardos y las azucenas. No quiero que sepan mis penas, porque si me ven llorando, morirán. Porque si me ven llorando,
Thank you so much. Give it up for Sophia.
That was Silencio. We are live in the Greene Space with the band. I'm going to ask a couple people to stick around. Isa Antonetti, would you come back on stage? This is Isa Antonetti. She plays Amara. You've met Mel Sesme. He plays Abraham. That was Sofia Ramos, by the way. I wanted to give a shout out to. Isa, this is your big Broadway debut. That's exciting, first of all. You graduated from school. What has it been like to go from school to Broadway?
Yes, I went straight from one semester at Carnegie Mellon to Broadway right after the new year, and it's been a beautiful change. I mean, Broadway is hard and it's worth every exhausting moment, and so it's been very easy with these people. So they are the people who pushed me through.
It's your Broadway debut as well.
Yes, it is.
Yes. But you were initially a little hesitant about taking the role initially. What brought you around?
Yes, it's my first theater experience, really, when we did it at the Atlantic Theater. I'm a touring musician. I grew up in Cuba. I graduated from Music University in Havana. And then, I have my band in California we put together like 10 years ago, and I was just touring, and I live in Spain. I just landed from Spain, actually. That's why my voice is like this today. I got married on Saturday.
You got married?
So, I landed last night at midnight, and I've been living in Spain for the last 20 years, so when I received the email from like this theater Buena Vista show in New York, I was like, what does that has to do with me other than Buena Vista? And so, I answered, and then they wanted to have a Zoom call with me, and then I saw all these people on the other side of the call, like the director, the producers, Marco was there, and I'm like, listen guys, I'm in Spain, I'm a touring musician, I've never done theater before in my entire life, I'm not sure if I am what you guys are looking for. And but they explained what this was about. They invited me for the workshop, and when I got here for the workshop, and I get to meet Patricia and Justin and the musicians, and I'm a big fan of West Side Story movie and West Side Story in general. But the West Side Story movie I've seen like 20 times. It's Justin Peck's choreography, and many of the people in the ensemble, the dancers are were as well at the movie, and then I started seeing familiar faces and obviously familiar music, and it just, grabbed me, and I just went for it.
Aww. As you approached your character, Amara, what does music mean to Amara?
What doesn't music mean to Amara? It's what starts the show, and it's what starts her seeking this new music, this new way of singing music. It's what launches her. It is a deep feeling that I don't think she even has the words to explain. So this music to me, I don't think I have the words to explain. I'm over here like closing my eyes while everyone is singing, and I'm just like living in the moment, and I'm just like, how do you express that? Like, how do you explain that? So that's what music means to her.
Your character goes to the same place and he sings every day. Why does he sing?
It's what keeps him alive. he had a big disappointment on what his life was through music, and this was his anchor to life. And so that was, his purpose, just to be able to connect to that moment of his life and the people that would just walk by. And so I feel very related in my real life with that, because when I arrived in Barcelona, I was illegal for 2 years because the Cuban consulate took my passport. And so I had to busk. I was singing in the street, and I was graduated from, classical. I was, playing with symphonic orchestras and things like that. So suddenly I was busking. And so when I started learning about the character, it felt so much like redemption, because this is something that I feel very identified with. When you have the purpose to still do what really anchors you to the present moment, because it's what you love and that's what you are.
You're singing songs that are legendary to so many people, but you have to put your own spin on them, your own self into the character. How did you find your voice playing Omara?
I was having rehearsals and sessions with Marco and David and Javier, and just everyone that has been in the room with me, especially learning who Omara is. And I remember David was like, except for I think one song, he was like, she doesn't do head voice. She doesn't do head voice. She is all from the chest. She is all from the gut. And that's who she is. And that informed a lot for me. And of course, doing Broadway every day, you have to do it healthily. And so with that, it was like, that's where that character comes from, is that she has the strength with her voice. That's who she is. Her shoulders are back, her chin is up, and that is how I found her, is through the voice.
How did you find your voice in playing this character?
It was actually a big challenge for me, because I thought one of the reasons why I was being cast was because of my voice, but I never had voice lessons, or I had zero training. And so when Marco came to me and was like, all right, in this moment of the song, just give me this long sustained note, vibrate it at the end, and please match the volume of the band. I'm like, what is happening right now? And so I've been coached. There's been a beautiful accompaniment of my process of understanding Broadway, and not just singing like my falsetto, which is my kind of like magic wand in terms of singing, and discovering all these new tools, my breath, expanding, the possibilities, and it's been an incredible journey. And now I got it. Yeah.
That's why I invited Marco up to the microphone.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about working with these actors.
Yeah, Mel's, that's so funny that was your perspective on all that. I felt like one of, especially with folks who had never done Broadway, and in Mel's case, an amazing singer, and his band is incredible, and it's a different kind of singing. Also, singing in a Broadway theater is a different muscle, singing to the back of the house. So what may seem small on a record or something in a club setting like this may not read in a 1,000-seat theater. So you need to find a way to scale up that emotion, even though it's small, but it still has resonance. Mm-hmm. And so we have an amazing vocal coach that we also work with, and with Mel, and then many of the cast members too, just finding that muscle and working and strengthening that and bringing that to help tell the emotional story within the song. So it's been amazing, because I didn't grow up with the music, so having the perspective of the band and the actors who have lived the music, and it's always a conversation. Even with creating a new musical, everybody was able to throw in ideas and stay true to the authenticity of the music within the show. So that's always it's been part of all of it,
All of it.
Yeah.
We talked to Patricia and Justin earlier about the choreography. What's been special about the choreography to you?
They are special. They
seem kind of special.
Oh my, you have no idea. No, but genuinely, it's also how they're able to put it into other people's bodies as well. Like, everyone is so talented, but like they do transfer that, and I think that's like through blood. I think that's through that's through emotion, that's through energy, and they are beautiful cast. Our dancers are amazing, and they take all of that, they use their skills, and they put that emotion on the stage every day. And I'm telling you, they're Chun Chun, which we just performed, I'm packing a suitcase during that scene, and all the dancing is happening behind me, and it's taking everything in me not to just watch the entire time, but I have to stay focused but I can see sometimes in the monitors, I can just see them dancing, and you just see the skirts, you see the height, you see this like breath, and it is breathtaking.
I just wanted to add to that when I first came to the workshops, when I first came to to know what was this about, I remember Justin explaining how to move a chair. And I'm just like innocently watching what's going on in this theater structure. And he's like, you guys do like this. And I teared up. And I'm like, I looked to the window and I'm like, am I tearing up because someone's moving a chair? And so, yes.
We're going to hear one more song. First of all, let's thank Melissa May. Thank you very much for being with us. And we're going to bring on stage Wesley Ray and Devon Moody. All right, what song are we going to hear, Isa?
La Negra Tomasa.
All right, you have been listening to a special broadcast of all of it with the Buena Vista Social Club. Take it away.
Enamorado de la negra Tomasa, que cuando se va de casa, qué triste me pongo. Estoy tan enamorado de la negra Tomasa, que cuando se va de casa, qué triste me pongo. Ay, 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 esa negra linda que me echó bilongo, esa negra santa que me echó bilongo, nada más que me gusta la comida que me cocina, nada más que me gusta la café que ella me cuela, nada más que me gusta la comida que me cocina, nada más que me gusta la café que ella me cuela. Esa negra linda que me echó bilongo, esa negra santa que me echó bilongo. Kikiribu, mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga, kikiribu, 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 mandinga. Kikiribu, mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga. Mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga.
Mira que lo gozo.
Kikiribu, mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga. kikiribu, mandinga. Ay, me la llevo. Kikiribu, mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga.
No, 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 no. Me lo llevo yo.
Mandinga, kikiribu, mandinga.
Social Club. Amazing.
Thank you. Oh my God. Marco, you finished at 1:00:00. Did you see that? What's that? El kawaii. Wow, man. So it's a show, you know? Always putting on a show. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, man. Good, good, good. Esto está aquí. Coño, maestro. Gracias, gracias. Exactly. Thanks, man. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for doing this.
I'm so glad. Wasn't that cool? I love my job sometimes. Okay, so we're officially off the air again. Thanks to the whole team from the Buena Vista Social Club for coming out today. As they sort of head out, we are going to let you know the radio station is right upstairs on the 8th floor. And we air our show every day from WNYC. It's part of a whole big web here at the station, and that includes a lot of arts coverage and more. In a few minutes, we're going to do a quick talk back on how radio gets made. But first, we're going to invite onto the stage WNYC's president, LaFontaine Oliver. All right, I know you're really busy, so I'll ask you a couple questions and then we'll let you go. Why does radio matter?
An easy question like that. Why does radio matter? Radio matters because I think it is still one of the most personal mediums out there. You know, you think about the fact that we talk about it as sort of theater of the mind, unlike video formats where the images are created for you. This is all audible, so it's very intimate. It gets in your ear, and you have the ability to then create sort of the vision and the pictures of what goes along with that. I think that makes this a very, very powerful medium. I also think it's got some real staying power. I mean, you think about all of the things that we have in technology today. Radio is so simple and ubiquitous. I mean, you know, you don't need to download or install anything. You don't need a software patch or a firmware update or a password that you've got to change every 3 weeks. You know, heck, you know, you don't need a subscription. You turn it on and it's there. And to me, it's one of those things that has a really, really powerful effect of being able to connect people. You come as you are, whether you're listening while you're cooking or taking a shower, and you leave more connected to your community. And so that's why, to me, I think radio matters and why it's so powerful.
Why do you think arts and culture are so important to WNYC? We do a lot, but why are arts and culture important?
We do a lot, and I was talking with your staff backstage, and they're saying we want to do more. But arts and culture are so important because I think when you think about news and information, I often say when the news is hard or hard to hear, having music as where you can seek refuge from that, I think is very, very important. Also, you can't be in the cultural capital of the world and not find value in translating the energy and the excellence that comes off of the stages and concert halls all across the city. That's just so important to us as an organization. It's so important for us to broadcast that to folks locally and nationally. And then I would say in particular when you think about public media, public radio, you go all the way back to the sort of founding tenets of public broadcasting, and it was President Lyndon B. Johnson, when the Public Broadcasting Act was signed, he sort of riffed on something another president said, and he said, you know, Americans don't just want a chicken in every pot. They want excellence, and while we are out creating that excellence, they need something to enrich man's spirit. And I think what he was talking about as it relates to enriching man's spirit was music, arts, culture, food, all of those things. And so it's core to our mission to not only make sure that our community is informed, but their spirit is enriched, that again, they leave more connected, and that happens through music, arts, and culture.
All right, I'm going to ask you the question. You've heard it a lot. Public radio is under threat from Washington. Yeah. What does that mean for us here at WNYC? And what can people do?
All right, I'm glad you asked that question. So what that means for us here at WNYC, New York Public Radio, WQXR, Gothamist, our podcast, it means that the funding that we receive through the federal appropriation that comes from taxpayers, and I will tell you, it's about $1.60 per taxpayer per year. But we leverage that and we turn that into $8. And we leverage that by fundraising locally in our community. So it is a great example of a public-private partnership. And so that funding right now is under threat. The House passed the White House's rescission package by a narrow margin of 212 to 214 just about a week and a half ago. The Senate is now on the shot clock. They have until July 18th to vote on that rescission package. I should also say that package includes not just funding for public broadcasting, but also lots of foreign aid and other things that I think many of us think are very, very important. So Senate has until July 18th to vote on that package. One of the things that you can do is you can write, you can call your local representative. You can go to our website and get more information about other ways to engage. And then obviously the other thing that you can do is you can vote with your dollars. If you believe that having a gold standard public media organization where news, information, arts, culture, and music is available to you free of charge, then where we give it away every day, and the work
Buena Vista Social Club.
Buena Vista Social Club, what Alison and her team does on all of it every single day. I like to call it sort of that high thread count content. It's great stuff. The quality is there, and guess what? You pay nothing for it. But we ask that if you find value in it, that you join us and you become a member or you become a major donor. So you can reach out to your congressional representatives. You can go to our website for more information, ways to connect with us, and certainly you can donate and you can become members.
President and CEO.
And you can show up for things like
LaFontaine
this.
Oliver, thank you for being with us.
Alison, thank you so much. Thank you all.
I'm going to bring up to the stage the producer for this event, Simon Close. He's a producer for all of it and a lot of today's live programming. And Megan Ryan, she's the head of live radio, in charge of the Brian Lair Show, as well as our show, as well as all the nighttime programming. Come on up. Come on up. Hi, we're gonna.
Hello.
There we go. Might be taking stuff off during the talkback. Who knows? So Simon, you get a call. Buena Vista Social Club might want to be on our stage. Might want to perform live. What do you do next?
First, I make the call in this case, I think. Yeah, this was the idea for this series. So we've been doing events in this space sometimes. Beforehand, they'd all been concerts with like professional musicians. So someone releases a new album, and then we have them on, and Alison talks to them about breaking down that album. They perform some songs live, but we also do a lot of Broadway stuff on the show. So we started to think maybe this is a good space for that, and we can make a small tweak to the live concert show thing and turn it into a live Broadway show. And so the first one of these that we did was a few months ago with Hell's Kitchen, and that was a case where they reached out